Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining me, as usual, is fucking no one, because they left me hanging this week. I don't know where Jacob is. I don't know where Aki is. But Doc Havok is here. Ian, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, man.
Thanks for being here. You actually showed up.
Yeah.
The other two, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, they heard I was going to be guesting, and they're like, what's the point?
Yeah, fun stuff. So how have you been? Been a while since you've been on. How's things going?
Yeah, things have been going pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, the weather has been cooling off, but
yay.
No, just chillaxing and doing the thing.
Cool. Speaking of doing the thing, we could kind of announce this here. You and I are going to be doing a panel at MagFest.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome, Lumberjacks. Celebrating 20 years of MagFest. It's going to be us. Big Adam's going to join. Bunny's going to join. I don't know who else, but it's going to be good.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been trying to get Bunny to come along for a while.
Yeah. Like I posted that we got a confirmation on it, and she commented, it's like, am I still needed? I'm like, fuck yes, you are. So, hey, look who showed the fuck up.
Sorry, guys. I'm so jet lagged. I just got back from Barcelona.
I'm sorry. Do you still work here?
Yeah, I was covering the extreme games with my crew, the Bratz. We were flaunting our fashion. I mean, I just won a talent show. Now I'm on my way to Barcelona, but I only get to go to this one special event if I have 100,000 subscribers. So if it's like this podcast, I'll get to go when I'm 93.
Yeah.
And you'll still own the competition.
I will be flaunting my fashion, as the subtitle of this game goes.
You can flaunt the fact that you're here before Aki.
Again, this is like 2 weeks in a row.
I know, and you're still 7 minutes late, so you're an asshole.
Well, yeah, but that's because I'm jet lagged.
Like, we started the show
time
already.
zone differential.
I'm jet lagged.
Dickhole. Jacob, how are you doing?
I just said I'm
like,
okay.
for real. Like, shut up. Shut up. Like, as you like to say,
real
shut
talk.
up.
Bit aside.
I mean, I'm all right, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, the script, God damn it.
Trying to make small talk, and you're just like, how was your week, Dinkleberry?
So jet lagged, man.
Barcelona was great.
Barcelona was great. I just bought some new shoes and some pants, and I totally owned a fashion show.
Nice.
Me and my crew.
Barcelona, man. Like, seriously, you don't even.
Oh, look who showed the fuck up.
Was she also in Barcelona? Are you rocking the fashion in Barcelona?
No, Aki's not cool enough.
I'm not here. I don't know what you're talking about.
She's still in Barcelona.
I can't read their name in chat.
Whose?
I don't know. There's like exclamation point fire Jacob.
Oh, that's root beer.
Oh, okay. Thanks, root beer.
Yeah.
Appreciate the support. I'm trying to get myself fired. I'm trying to get myself fired too, but I'm unsuccessful so far.
Yeah, I gotta keep
reading
putting
chat
up with
in
you.
dark mode, aren't you?
I have it in dark mode too. So
yeah.
Oh
yeah. So Aki, where
Dark
have you been?
mode is, you don't want to know.
Were you Jacobing?
No.
Were you?
No, but it's something. No.
Oh.
No. If I were to be masturbating, it would be done before now. Promise. I've done that numerous times in the past. I know when
the show.
No, before it.
Oh,
dipshit.
Were you in such a good mood last week?
Yes, actually. Problem was, Joe kept interrupting me. Is all.
This week, when Jacob and Joe have to start being family friendly during some of the segments, let's all talk about what we flick our beans to.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we're not going there. I don't want an episode that has a whole bunch of kid reviews to have like a mature tag on YouTube.
So why are we on it?
Yeah, you do realize that fuck is like every 8th word out of my mouth if it takes that many words.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're not doing the review. Funny enough, I was telling Jacob I kind of want Norg to do an intro and call it Kid Shit with Jacob Goddamn Garner.
But he's got to do it in that super high energetic, like Nickelodeon style.
It's Kid Shit with Jacob Goddamn Garner.
That would be terrible. And I would feel bad.
For who? Norg or me?
Norg. I never feel bad for you.
Yeah.
No, you felt bad for me once.
I did?
Yeah, I think you were sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you weren't in the clear.
Yeah, when I get sick, my mind's never in the right place. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Star Trek where like two characters suddenly make out, but by the end of it, they find out that they had like a virus or something like that.
I already don't like anywhere this is going because the first thing you went to is they make out. No.
Well, Aki, you and I are destined to fly into Warp 10 and have a bunch of lizard children together.
Jacob, she's saving herself for Brooke.
Yes.
Fall into the abyss. There's easier ways.
Welcome to Aki's worst nightmare episode of the SML podcast.
Yes, very much so. It is. Yes, you are correct. Doesn't help that my furnace is. My furnace doesn't have much more life in it either, which sucks because I don't have the money to replace it.
I guess you have to reactivate your OnlyFans.
My actual furnace. The main electrical part in it is breaking down, and it's an old one. So while lots of people get rid of theirs, because it's still getting a kind that's pretty common to be gotten rid of, but they don't make them anymore. So I can't get new parts for it.
Sure you can. Go steal them from somebody else's house.
Yes. Well, originally there was somebody who was going to who worked for one of those places who does stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll just take it out of one of the ones that we get rid of and bring it over." And they haven't contacted me back at all today.
Have you called them back today?
Yeah. I contacted them today and they have not gotten back. So hopefully I hear back from tomorrow because they'll do it for free because it's just literally they just take out a component and put a different one in because the part that's broken in mine isn't fixable. So they have to actually take the entire like square chunk of it completely out and put a new one in. Or in my case, not a new one, but an old used one from someone else's house.
That's fun.
You could just steal somebody else's house. Have you tried that?
I probably will be if it goes out completely. I'll probably head off to my parents' house for a while.
No. I meant like literally steal somebody else's house.
Oh. Yeah, around here that wouldn't be particularly useful because all the houses around here suck. I do not live in a good neighborhood.
If you steal it, it's free. Squatters' rights, right?
Yeah, squatters' rights. I mean, you could also try claiming eminent domain.
For squatters' rights, you have to live there for like 3 years.
Well, get started.
All right. Yeah, get started. I mean, you got time.
Well, there is that old house that was a meth house that's still boarded up. I could.
There you go.
That's
the free needles.
I mean, it's not even a block away. It's just on the connecting street. I can see it from my porch.
Needles.
Yeah, all the needles you could ever want. So I'm
remember
pretty
there
sure
was a meth lab on. There was a meth lab on the edge of my town, except it literally blew up.
Thankfully, this one didn't, or else all of our houses probably have been damaged.
There's like a meth house that blows up once a year in like at least.
And then the people almost across the street from me, number of the people there were arrested because they were selling the drugs that were being made in the meth house.
Yeah, see, that's why you got to give it away for free. That way they can only get you on distribution charges. They couldn't get you for selling. That's worse.
So now I have to flag this episode for drug content.
Yep,
I mean, you could just delete this whole part.
No.
It's for medicinal use only.
I don't think there's a medicinal use for meth or crack, but okay.
Anyway, I had a pretty cool week.
Oh?
For once, I want to talk about myself on the show. We didn't announce it on Facebook yet, so this is kind of like the public announcement, but we officially have number 14 kitties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had 15 cats anyway.
No,
so
we were at
that
13.
really didn't make sense.
We were
His
at
wife
14
doesn't count.
now.
You have like 13 too many fucking cats, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well,
I keep telling them to
my
file for
sinuses
nonprofit.
agree.
well, this one, this one showed up on our porch like 2-3 months ago, and it's just been losing weight. And it used to be an indoor cat. And we know it was an indoor cat because first off, it was neutered already. It's a lap cat. It will not stop laying on laps at all. And it's a cat that's worth like a few $100s because it's a Seal Point Siamese. So this cat,
that means nothing to me.
It's a valuable cat, and it was just on our porch. We gave it 2 months. We posted on a bunch
Fucking yeah!
Thank you, Lloyd, for the subscription. Thank you. 11 months. Wow.
I'm so sorry you've been here for almost a year.
Yeah, that's
you
sad.
poor thing.
So sorry. How do I turn this renewal off? Oh, God. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, we tried finding the owner. We posted on Lost and Founds for weeks, and we decided to take it to the vet, get it checked out. I kind of mentioned that last week that we were going to take the one to the vet, and he checked out, and now he's indoors, and he's adorable, and his name is Simon with a P.
Psimon.
Yes.
Simon with a P.
Yes.
Psimon.
Psimon.
The P is silent.
Yes.
That amused me more than it should have.
I don't.
Oh, that was genius.
I think I
The
quit.
P is silent.
Yeah. This joke is right up there with the Family Guy cool whip.
Cool whip.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, we have Psimon in the house now, and he is so adorable. He just snuggles and lays with you. And Ian, when you come down, I think you're going to enjoy Simon.
Yeah.
Because you like broing out with the cats.
Mm-hmm. That I do. I'm always looking for a floppy lap kitty.
And then the other cool news, I was telling Ian before you two showed up late that we're going to be hosting a panel at MagFest.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lumberjack panel talking about 20 years of MagFest. We're going to have some friends joining. Going to be a good time. I'm still hoping that Lady McGreek is going to attend MagFest to join in and act as like a moderator so I could be a guest on my own show for once. Yeah, it should be fun. We're going to have a lot of friends joining, and if you go to MagFest, you can meet us. Well, at least some of us, but...
Gross.
All the cool people are going to MagFest.
No,
I don't know about that, but...
Yeah.
I like the uncomfortable cough as after you get to meet all the cool kids. Oh.
No, turn your
just
left.
coffee.
Yeah.
And then Best Buy fucked up big time for me this week. They had some clearance new game plush items. Basically, it is a plushie, and when you ring out, it's supposed to print a game code on your receipt.
Mm-hmm.
I actually bought 4 of them on clearance. They were like $15 each. One was Ori on Xbox.
Hold on. They were on clearance for $15 each?
Yes.
Jesus.
They're normally like $50.
That's also horrifying.
It's a game with a plush.
Yeah,
plushies aren't cheap.
I don't know that, I guess. But
Well, now you do.
I think $15 for a plushie is pretty good, and they were supposed to come with game codes that I was going to give away, and they fucked up, and I didn't get any game codes except for Shovel Knight on the Switch. which is available to purchase with channel points if you have a whole ton of them.
Let's see how much I
Did you
got.
contact them? Are they going to fix the
I contacted them, and they refunded me for 2 of them, and then an item that wasn't supposed to be refunded. I'm not going to say how much it's worth because I don't want to get in trouble, but Best Buy fucked up, and I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's good fuck up. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Damn it. All right. So I have to essentially be on this show for like, to get that copy of Shovel Knight. Damn it. I only have 2.2K pancakes. I need 88,000.
Yeah.
89,000, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the values really high to start off because I haven't had any good use for channel points for a long time. So I'm guessing people have a lot of them, and I figured they could just use them up. And as things go, I'll drop prices and see how things go and whatnot. But yeah, join us on Twitch. We have fun. But
we do.
I could get it, but I don't have a Switch. So I don't need it.
You could get it for Jacob.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Oh, save room is up here. Well then.
So yeah, we should probably get to news. Some sad news this week. Kevin Conroy, the voice for Batman for our generation, passed away last week at age 66.
It was terrible. I cried literally for a couple days. That was depressing.
If I read correctly, he was duking it out with cancer for quite a while. So he did hold out for a very respectable long time.
And he worked till the end. He was doing stuff for multiverses up till the very end. So he stayed busy, and he's gonna be missed. He was an awesome voice actor and awesome actor in general. And
yeah, he was a really decent guy. His interviews were always very compelling.
Yeah. Some other news. Game Pass. A bunch of stuff coming to Game Pass.
Woohoo!
This week, on Tuesday, we got Somerville and Pentiment.
Yay! Also, yay!
Yeah, and then today on PC, Dune Spice Wars hit game preview on PC, and Ghost Lore hit game preview on PC.
I don't know what Ghost Lore is.
I think Carnage was playing it and said it was pretty good, so I might have to check it out. I don't PC game much, but who knows? If he recommends it, it can't be that bad.
He recommends all the trial games, so...
What's wrong with trials?
Oh, they're too difficult. Fuck that. I want a game that I can complete, not a game that I'll never get halfway through. Fuck that.
Root Beer just said, so did Jimmy Fallon. What?
It's because of Twitter.
Oh.
For some reason, R.I.P. Jimmy Fallon was tweeting, or was trending.
Go ahead and give it to Jacob.
Oh, Aki, look at you.
What?
Just don't. Nothing. Just nothing.
Aki, do you secretly care about me?
No, I just felt like being nice. It is Christmas.
It's not like she likes you or anything.
Christmas is a month away. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm not going to remember to buy this shit for you at Christmas, so...
Man, you guys really
Aki cares about me.
No, she does.
Yeah, she does.
I could punch you in the face, I would, just so you know.
I'd let you, because, you just gave me a free copy of Shovel Knight, so, to be fair.
Okay, cool. So the first time I meet Jacob, I'm just going to pummel him in the face. That works.
Just remind me before you do it. Because I'll still let you do it. I just want the warning, Just
but it's more fun when there isn't a warning. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh my lord!
You know what? It's a free copy of Shovel Knight. Yeah, I'll give you one sucker punch for free.
Nice.
It's like, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Sucker punch the shit out of Jacob.
To punch Jacob.
I'd buy him a copy of Shovel Knight. No, that's fair. All right.
I can almost afford another one, even on top of the other game I got.
Excuse me, I don't need 2 copies of Shovel Knight. Thank you. Nice try.
I don't have 2 copies of Shovel. I do have a Shovel Knight plushie though. So
yeah, but that's not something we can.
No, you can't buy it because it's mine.
Yeah.
Although you could probably still find it on Best Buy. They might still have some clearance. Ori, I think I got the last one, and it was marked as delivered today, and it never showed up. So I don't know what the fuck that is.
Ooh.
So I didn't get the code, and I didn't get the plush.
Well, yet.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll show up. I don't know. Anyway, Lapin joined Game Pass day one, and Norco hit cloud and console day one on Xbox. Next week, Aki, I know you're excited for this one. November 22nd, Gungrave Gore.
Launching.
So fucking excited.
Can we get a sound clip of that laugh?
No.
And just play it every once in a while?
No. You heard nothing.
Too late. The moment has passed. Assumptions and judgments has been made.
Yeah, Gungrave Gore. I'm excited about that one. I'm excited to see a new Gungrave game. I'm excited to see Gungrave hit Xbox, and now it's on Game Pass. Oh, I hope it does well.
I really just want more Brandon Heat in my life. And for those of you who don't know, because that's probably all of you, that's the main character. That's Gungrave.
Yeah, it was a good anime.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good, and the games were fucking awesome. And I just, I want this so bad. If I don't get this to review, I'm pre-ordering it. So, and I have no money this month, so I've already spent over 1,000 out of my just over $800 that I make a month.
How much?
The math doesn't work there.
Exactly, that's the problem.
Cool.
How much does this thing cost? Or wait, isn't it coming to Game Pass?
Yes, it is. But I want it.
Well, right, but maybe you should wait to buy it till you can.
Oh no! Because if you pre-order, you get a special skin of him as Brandon Heat, and that is something I want. And it has a completely different moveset and everything, so I need that.
I mean, they'll probably sell that separately.
Okay, then maybe I'll wait. But I also really want it.
I want it too. It looks really good. Oh.
Yes, it does. I have no idea where they're going with it, though. Because none of the other characters are from anything. I don't know who the fuck any of them are.
But that's not it, though, for Game Pass. November 29th, Insurgency Sandstorm is hitting cloud and console.
Wasn't that on Game Pass for a long time?
It's hitting Game Pass, so maybe it's returning. I don't know. Warhammer 40k Darktide is hitting PC Game Pass.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, the console versions are delayed to next year sometime, so
it'll still come to console. Happen. That's good enough. That works. Yeah.
And it'll hit Game Pass on console.
I got in on the beta for that, and I enjoyed it very much.
Do you do Game Pass, Ian?
Cool. No, but I know how to get out of betas. Yeah, I know. Everyone and their mom says I should, but it is what it is.
And then Soccer Story is hitting Game Pass, which looks really cool. A soccer RPG.
I'm kind of tentatively interested in this because I saw some screenshots. It looks like it could be kind of cool. I'm not as interested in the soccer part of it, but the rest of it looks really cool.
Unfortunately, it's not all good news with Game Pass. When games join, games have to leave as well. And there's some heavy hitters leaving.
Oh?
Yeah, first up, Archvale is leaving.
I don't know that game.
It looks really cute, and everyone has had high praise for it, so I think it's $12 on sale, so I picked it up. Gonna give it a try this weekend.
What kind of game is it?
Oh, where's Carnage? He knows. I'd have
Scotty.
To look it up. I would have
Where are you, Scotty? Scotty has to be in here somewhere.
I get confused on things. Horror Acolyte says Archvale is great. So there we go. Twin Stick Adventure.
Shooter.
Deer Simulator is leaving.
That's a shame. That was a gooberish one.
Final Fantasy 13-2.
One of the better ones in that series of god-awful games.
Mind Scanners.
I don't know that game.
I don't know that one either. But it's leaving Game Pass. Mortal Shell is leaving Game Pass.
That's a shame for people who like those games.
Yeah, Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator.
That was a weird one. I reviewed that one.
Yeah, Undungeon is leaving.
That Space Organ one. That's also made by the same guy who did Airport for Aliens. That's run by dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he like that guy makes some pretty offbeat games. I recommend
that's
it.
Xavier, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Warhammer 40k Battle Sector is leaving Game Pass. Like, I think it's strategy, like turn-based strategy. I don't know. It didn't win me over. I looked at it and I was like, I don't need it. But yeah, that is the Game Pass update. Next gen update for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is going to be hitting on December 14th. And it will be free for current owners of the game.
That's really awesome. Congrats to all the people who own Witcher 3. Yeah. You get a next gen upgrade and it's free, which is awesome.
Good stuff. Thunderful is acquiring Somerville developer Jumpship. So right as the game is launching, they got picked up and it looks like Thunderful's happy.
What stuff does Thunderful own? What games? Just so I know what the hell they make.
They have a lot of stuff. They're like Zoink Games is part of Thunderful. Okay. Let me look it up quick. I can pull up some games for you. Load.
Yeah, I'm bad with publishers and developer names.
Lonely Mountains Downhill, which just got some DLC. Okay. Lego Brick Tales, Paper Cut Mansion, Planet of Lana.
Okay, so they have some good games. Okay,
yeah, Thunderful's got some good stuff, and they've been getting bigger. So, nice. Gearbox purchased the Risk of Rain IP from Hopo Games.
I mean, I'm not that familiar with the series. I mean, it's on sale pretty regularly, though. I mean, I guess it does well.
Yeah. And
no idea.
Speaking of Gearbox, Volition is now a part of Gearbox after Embracer shuffled it away from Deep Silver. I wonder what that means for Saints Row.
Well, I mean, I would assume that it means that Saints Row did not meet expectations.
I don't think it did. I mean, I enjoyed it, but
the new one?
Yeah.
No, it did not meet expectations.
Not even remotely.
No.
I don't think it even hit 1/10. It got canned pretty badly.
It's like you have the players that prefer the first two games. You have players that prefer the later games, and somehow they miraculously made a game that irritated, annoyed, and pissed off. Yeah, irritated, annoyed, and pissed off both groups equally.
I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't Saints Row, though.
Exactly, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Risen is getting the re-release treatment. I don't want to call it a remaster because it doesn't look like they changed anything, but it's going to release January 24th for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Switch and PS4 are going to get physical releases at GameStop.
Nice.
So Risen, of all the games, fucking Risen. By the way, I'm still pissed that Risen and Risen 2 are backward compatible, but Risen 3 isn't. That's some bullshit.
Well, maybe they'll change.
Restart the program, Xbox. I would say Sony's catching up with their PS Plus classics, but we all know how that's going. Last bit of news I have is shocking the world. Dead Island 2 got delayed again.
Ooh.
This time to April 28th, so it's only a 3-month delay, but it's just funny at this point. Like, of course it got delayed again.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's the news I got. What do you guys have? Anything?
I don't think so.
Nothing really.
Let me look in the news section of our Discord, and I will tell you.
What the fuck? That's...
What, that's what you do?
No, because usually I toss any news that I have up on the Facebook page. Oh, wait, did we talk about Blizzard suspending game services in China?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Haha.
Well, what's going on there?
So their contract with NetEase is coming to an end, and while Blizzard is they're sure that they'll just hop in with some other company, they're telling everyone to get ready for, I think it's January 20th, 2023 or something. But pretty much all of their online services in China are going to get shut down.
Jeez.
So
PlayStation seems to be working on NFT crap.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so is Microsoft too.
Probably.
Are they?
Yeah, they said that they're investing in some company that does that kind of shit.
Ew. I knew they were planning on doing more phone games, but ew, gross.
I like the news on Reddit today that someone reported Justin Bieber paid like $1.6 million for an ape NFT, and it's worth like $60-some thousand now.
The fact that it's worth $60-something thousand is pathetic.
Surprising.
No, I'm like, it's worth that much.
Yeah, it should be worth 0.00064 cents, maybe.
But the fact that he paid that much and it's worth relatively so little is hilarious to me.
That's what happens when you get a bunch of people who have a lot of money and no brain cells.
Root, do we have listeners in China? I don't believe so. I would have to check our MP3 and YouTube stats, but I don't believe so. I think we've talked to someone probably would have been once, though.
They probably would have been raided by government long before now if they tried to listen to your show.
Yeah, if they listen to us. Poor guys. Any other news, or should we dive into reviews? Because we got a bunch.
Any new movie news? Come on, you have to have.
I could bring up the current cinematic hot topic.
Sure, do it. We need some movie news. It's been a while.
I wouldn't call it news, but
I don't care.
Has anyone seen Wakanda Forever?
No.
You're all racist. All right, moving on.
What?
Okay, that sounds about right.
I'm broke.
Is it not doing well in theaters? It looked really cool.
Well, it's a tough call because who's going to have the nuts to say anything bad about it?
I mean, plenty of people.
A lot of people have said a lot about it, but most of them are also extremely racist.
So far, it's pulled in $209 million.
Well, therein lies half the problem, is that there are people with legitimate complaints about the movie, but good luck voicing them without being racist. I mean, the general consensus that I've heard, I haven't seen myself, is that basically the very beginning and the very end are really nice because it's basically, like tribute for Chadwick Boseman, that kind of thing. But like everything in between is just.
Also, the only bad thing I've actually heard about it, aside from people being like, "Oh, it's overrated," shut up. Like the only legitimate criticism I've heard is that Ironheart's story is pointless and like it feels like it's just shoot in.
I was counting the seconds until Ironheart hit the scene because I can't wait for that shitstorm. The reason why Ironheart is shoehorned in is because she has her.
She's got a show coming up.
They're setting up her show on Disney Plus. Other than that, like 90% of everyone going out of their way for her makes like very little logical sense.
I hate that.
But but I can't wait for people to start blowing up on Ironheart because basically I'm trying to think of a very diplomatic way of explaining this without sounding like the bane of all Disney's existence, but she's basically she's basically the younger female diverse anything you can do I can do better than Tony Stark character.
Oh, she's pussy power. Okay, no, not interested.
Basically she's classic legacy character version 2.0 that nobody like. She was, as far as I can tell, she wasn't even really that well received in the comics. And if you kind of look at her origin story, it was not written well. I'm not going to discuss it here because that gets borderline too controversial. But if you're familiar with her origin story,
you can talk to me later about it.
I was going to say I don't really know anything about her because she came in after I had to get out of comics again. Just because my first son was being born and I had to cancel all my comic subscriptions. So, yeah.
Oh, that sucked.
It's all right because nowadays all I do is just walk over to Ollie's Bargain Outlet and like
pick them up for cheap.
Honestly, if you're willing to wait like 4 years, you can get graphic novels that are like for $3 that normally would have cost like 30. Like, nice. And so it's just like I just now catch up on things that are 5 or 6 years old.
I don't have a comic book store here, so It sucks. Well, I don't got nothing here.
Nothing.
Nope, don't got nothing.
I mean, you got... Wait, is it checkers that you have out there?
Rallies.
Rallies, that's right. You got that going for you, maybe.
True, I ate that yesterday.
But to get back to the point for Wakanda Forever, basically from what I hear, it's about as mediocre as anything else that was released during Phase 4.
Oh, that's a shame, because Phase 4 has kind of been...
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Reviews?
I made the mistake of going to see Multiverse of Madness, and since I've never seen an episode of WandaVision, that was a really fun, air quotes, film to watch.
Yeah, I went and watched that too. I hadn't watched it, but I follow channels on YouTube that do, and they've talked a lot about it, so I knew the gist. Even knowing all of that, it was still,
Yeah. Like, after I got home, I actually looked up America Chavez because I didn't know if she was an actual character in comics or if she was a special living MacGuffin they made just for the film, because she kind of ticked off a lot of boxes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, she was definitely, while she was an actual character, no, she was a MacGuffin. And
the general gist I got was that she was even more annoying in the comics than she was in the movie. But yeah, I'm a middle-aged white guy, so I'm the bane of all evil. So what do I know?
Good stuff.
So Joe, what comics are you reading?
None.
Have you ever read any comics?
Yes, Ninja Turtles.
Yay! Are we talking like OG black and white?
No,
hardcore noir.
Eastman and Laird, or the Archie series. Archie.
Okay.
My bad.
Because I was gonna say, like, it's kind of funny. Like, if you go back and read like the original debut style of the Turtles back when they're all black and white, like they were way more hardcore.
Oh yeah, the original comics are awesome.
I didn't know there was a black and white set.
I had a few of them, but I
no, like the like
Archie stuff.
Yeah, like when Ninja Turtles started, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they were originally done in black and white.
They were,
and then when they went to color, like everyone wore red.
It was like the first, I thought it was like the first 10 issues or something like that.
Yeah.
But
it was that really, it was that weird starting phase where they were still kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do with them.
Well, yeah, because Shredder gets killed in the first comic.
Spoilers, jeez.
That's awesome.
I wish I could remember the name, but there was an actual animated movie where the three different generations of turtles ran into each other, like the original black and white noir.
It was
that's
the 80s.
No, it was
the really cheesy 80s, and then like the more grounded, like early 2000s version.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie. It was an episode. It was like a 2-part episode or something like that.
Okay. I thought it was
of
a movie,
that one, and I don't think they ran into the black and white turtles. I think it was just the 90s and them.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe there was a comic where that happened. I don't know. For some reason, I thought all three generations ran into each other.
And let's not forget, when the Power Rangers ran into the Ninja Turtles too.
Power Rangers are god awful. Let's just not.
I only remember like the original US generation, and then there was like 14 different spin-off series since then.
I stopped watching when like the 11-year-old kid joined Power Rangers.
Oh god.
Turbo Force.
Oh,
God, the fact that I know that hurts my soul.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember that because I intentionally tried to block it out. The kid was so obnoxious.
Yeah.
I actually follow him on TikTok. He's actually pretty entertaining.
The only Power Ranger I ever liked was Kimberly, the Pink Ranger from the very original one. Amy Jo Johnson, she's still as gorgeous now as she was back then.
Yeah. I like both of them. It's still a shame that Thigh Trang died.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. My brother went to college with Jason Narvey, the guy who played Skull.
Nice.
Yeah. They worked on, I think it was Macbeth together for theater. I actually got to see him. He was the lead. He was really fun. So.
And who died? I don't.
The Yellow Ranger.
Yellow Ranger. She died in a car accident.
I'm terrible. Yeah. It wasn't very long after she did Crow City of Angels.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because I want to say that they had a dedication to her in that film.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Sad pandas. Yeah, it was.
All right, so yeah, reviews. We got to get to these. We got a bunch to talk about. Y'all ready?
Sure.
Y'all ready
Unless
for this?
We can find another way to derail this.
No, we got a lot of games to talk about. First game to talk about tonight is Asterix and Obelix XXXL, the RAM from Hibernia, developed by OSome Studio, published by Microids, released October 27th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $39.99. Meanwhile, in Hibernia, today known as Ireland, Caratine Chief Irish Coffix's daughter is calling Asterix and Obelix to the rescue. They need to help overcome the Roman invasion and bring back her father's beloved golden ram. For this mission, you'll control your favorite heroes and use your fists and any surrounding objects to make your way while throwing Romans in the air. Jacob, what's going on in the latest installment of Asterix and Obelix?
So in this one, it goes back to the beat 'em up formula. The previous game that we had was a 2D one. This goes back to kind of like an overhead 3D one. Not quite overhead. I don't know how to exactly put
like
it, but you're at
view.
Yeah. And pretty much it's just you're moving from point A to point B, beating up Romans, you like solving. I mean, none of the puzzles are difficult. You just really have to figure out how to what route to take to get around something. And just beat the ever living crap out of Romans. There are multiple characters that you could choose from, and there are differences between them. Obelix obviously can't move as quickly, but he can pick up really big objects. Meanwhile, other ones are good at fighting, some move quicker, so it's like a standard Streets of Rage kind of thing. You play to your fighting style. And with that, it's not too in depth, like with, variations of enemies and stuff like that. Like the game does slowly ramp up everything because first off, you start off with foot soldiers, and then they introduce some archers, and then you also have to knock down tents because otherwise everyone will just keep spawning. And the game, it pretty much does let you use whatever objects that you want that are around you, and you can even use enemy soldiers. Although I will admit that function, I did have a hard time getting it to work properly.
What using the other soldiers?
Yeah,
you just pick them up when they're stunned.
I know. No, I'm aware. Okay, well, I really couldn't get it to work that often, and most of the time it was just it tossed them up in the air and that was it. I only managed to throw them at somebody else playing it. That's probably what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, it's just it's plenty of fun. As you're moving around, it would be obviously be more fun with doing this with co-op. It does have
local co-op only. Yeah. There's no online play, but it is up to 4 players, which is cool.
Right. But my only issues with it are, and this one's a gameplay choice on them that I was a little surprised by. If your character gets knocked out, it doesn't swap to somebody else that's hanging out with you. It just ends the level and you have to restart from the last save point. Which I got caught off guard with that. And it really causes you to have to be mindful of what's happening to your guy because you only get 1 life. So make it count. But the other issue that I had with it really was that the save points are too far and few between, or whatever the damn phrase is. I'm gonna let
you struggle with it. Fuck it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because they're especially the first time that you're sneaking into the Roman encampment, I got to almost the end of it, and then my Obelix died on me, or passed out, whatever you want to call it, and it started me right at the very beginning of the level again, and I'm like, okay, ouch. No, I'm putting this down. I was just so friggin' annoyed with that. There needs to be more save points in the game, but honestly, some people might just view that as a challenge. And it's not like the game doesn't throw enough health pickups. You just have to be mindful of what's around you. If you can, and if you notice that your health is going down, run back and get some health stuff. but I wish that the game would have some more safe spots in it. That being said, like, honestly, it's, if you're already a fan of the series, I'd recommend it.
I do appreciate that this is, like, it feels like something that was built ground up instead of just a remaster like we've seen on some of the Asterix games. It's got a great visual style. I really like the soundtrack. Yeah.
To be honest, it had a very
voice acting is fun.
Yeah, that is too. But like, I remember the music was very not like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing, but it felt very epic for what it was. Like, it really came out of left field on that for me. I was expecting some generic stuff, and the composer definitely went ham on this.
Ham like you eat the ham. I had an issue. One of the achievements is to hit an enemy, like take out an enemy with food. Every time I would try throwing food at an enemy, they would just eat it.
So maybe you have to do it when they're stunned.
I tried it.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know. And then I tried. I carried a fish for like half a level, so I could try throwing that at an enemy for an achievement. And a little cutscene happened, and I lost my fish. So I didn't get to throw it.
There is one for defeating a Roman by throwing a fish at him.
Yeah, I know. That's
six people have it. So
that's why I was carrying the fish. I just said that.
You just need to get good, scrub.
Dumb. There are challenges you could do on each level. You could earn like gold, silver, or bronze based on how quick you are, how much health you lose, doing score. And then there's a special one of like beating up Romans with Romans, stuff like that. So there is replayability there, so you could try getting all the medals. Not a fan of earning medals. I would rather just play through the game, but I mean, that's choice. You could do that if you want or not. I think it's a pretty solid game. The series is fun. I think $40. What are your thoughts on it?
$40 might be a little steep unless you're a fan of the series. At the very least, wait for a sale. But honestly, I mean, I'd be more okay with 30. But
that's fair.
I still enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
I would say wait for a sale on it. But yeah.
Yeah, this is one I kind of want to see
checking out.
There's only 6 worlds in there, so it's not a huge game. So I want to see this one through to the end. So
yeah.
Next game, Bratz, Flaunt Your Fashion, developed by Petoons Studio, published by Outright Games, released November 4th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $39.99. Start out in your hometown of Stylesville and choose your character from the original Bratz pack, Yasmin, Chloe, Jade, or Sasha. Then blaze a trail as you chase the biggest style stories, take on quests to help new friends, and play scorching minigames full of bratitude. Blaze your favorite Bratz character and begin your globetrotting adventure to become the world's best fashion reporter. Jacob, did you flaunt your fashion?
I did, in fact, because of how I'd flaunted my fashion, I ended up winning the talent show, and that got me tickets to other stuff.
Cool.
So,
what do you do in this game?
It probably helps if you're familiar with the Bratz franchise, which I totally am not, other than knowing that it was, it's a series of dolls that came out that was kind of like aimed at being like a Barbie killer, aimed more at the quote unquote tween market back in the day. But in this one, it's about these 4 friends, all girls, although there are guys that drop by in the apartment too and stuff. And pretty much, it's a lot of deciding what you're going to wear, deciding what your makeup's going to be. And for some reason, all 4 of these girls are journalists. They're all
just
fashion
like
models.
us.
They're all, we are journalists. And I mean, if we ever do get that calendar going off the ground, I mean, we will be fashion models.
I'm a Chloe.
But, so anyway, so it's a lot of like, there's little mini games spread throughout. It's a weird game to explain. I'm not going to lie. Because like, yeah, it's just like there's a lot going on in it. Gosh, okay, so
well, let me read this from the store page.
Let me break it.
Okay. It says, as you get the latest scoop for Bratz magazine, you can use money you earn to shop for outfits, customize your characters, and set trends, and you'll see your social following grow as fans are wowed by your passion for fashion.
Okay, so let's break that down. So obviously, yes, the clothes and the makeup, those are things that like you start off with some basic stuff. However, there are chests that are hidden in each level, like all over the place. None of them are timed. It's just show up whenever you get around to it and find them. And it's just you run around the area looking for them. Some of them are hidden inside buildings within that area because, like, let's say that you're at the mall. There's going to be some that are hidden outside the mall. There's going to be some that are hidden in the shops in the mall. So you need to make sure that you're going to everything in the area. And as you unlock that kind of stuff, you can dress up in new outfits, and these outfits will help you participate in certain activities. In other activities, like the game will tell you, hey, your multiplier will go up if you're wearing all quote unquote alternative or streetwear or whatever. I don't know, man. I've worn nothing but Carhartt shirts for like the last like 5 years now. I've worn nothing but Carhartt shirts because I needed a tough, durable shirt that could stand up to baby vomit. Anyway, so yeah. But there's that. But you also need to keep up with like the latest trends. And so obviously you need to keep buying like makeup and clothes, but you also need to buy the latest phone so you can take the best photos and post it to the internet. You also need the best desktop computer because apparently nobody with Bratz uses an actual laptop. And with the computer, you're going to use that to interact with your fans. So yeah, you're going to use it at the end of it, like pretty much any quest, to upload your story that everyone's clamoring to know what the Bratz girls are up to. But then also you're like, let's say you're in between stuff, you can always walk over to the computer and it's like, oh, I'm just replying to comments and I'm going to get like 300 new followers and like $25 or something like that because I got ad revenue. So it's stuff that you can always do. And some of the events that you do in the game are contingent on how many followers you have. And so it really pays off to do all the little side quests, find chests, like try out different fashion stuff, take a bunch of photos, upload them to the internet, quote unquote, and interacting with your fans. And then on top of it, there's all sorts of like mini games that are spread throughout. Like there's taking photos of yourself, which of course you can decide whether it's going to be a selfie or not. And you have to make sure that the photos are in focus and you're taking them at the proper time because you're going to be modeling and stuff. And then there's also, because not only are they fashion models and not only are they fashion models and athletes and journalists, they are also a dance crew because of course they are.
Why wouldn't they be?
I mean,
just like us.
They are whatever the plot needs them to be.
I mean, to be fair, like one of the things with dolls of that kind of nature is that, it's just like they could be anything that the girl wants them to be. And so, yeah, like it is going to be whatever the plot needs them to be. That being said, like visually, it's not the greatest looking game, but there is an awful lot to do within the game. And I honestly never got bored while I was playing with it, which is nice for plenty of the kids' games that I've had to review for the podcast. So it does have that going for it. On the other hand, a lot of it is repetitive fetch quests, which, again, it's a kid's game, whatever. But my biggest complaint, honestly, was the dialogue in the game. And especially in like the first hour of it, like they're just trying to drop as much lingo as they possibly can. And I'm just like, nobody talks like this. Like literally nobody talks like this. And I was expecting somebody to even like drop like 23 skidoo in it. It just sounded so out of place, and like it was written by like a 35, 40-year-old who was like, what do the teens say? Hello, fellow youth. What do you say? Like, how would you say this? And it's just, it feels awkward and forced, but at the same time, whatever, it's a kid's game. And yeah. So
well, it's sitting at $40. What are your thoughts on it?
For a normal gamer like you and I, men who are in their 30s and 40s, I mean, I wouldn't say that, this is the game of the year. However, I mean, you have to keep in mind these kind of games are aimed at a very specific demographic. And for some kids out there, this might be their very first video game. And to be honest, I mean, I don't think it's the best game from Outright that I've played, but there's a lot going on in it and a lot going for it. It's obviously targeted at a very specific demographic, and for what it is, it's not bad. Like, Outright's honestly, like, they're doing a lot better than previous titles that we've seen from them.
Yeah.
I was honestly pleased with this one.
How about this? Because you mentioned our demographic, achievement hunters. Is this something they'll enjoy?
Yes. Yeah. Pretty much any game by Outright, aside from the DreamWorks Dragon stuff, any game by Outright is prime for achievement hunters.
Nice.
But I mean, if you've got kids, yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Cool. All right, next game, SMURFS KART, developed by Eden Games, published by Microids, released November 15th on the Switch for $39.99. That is the question you'll need to answer in this dynamic kart racing game in the world of Smurfs. Make the best start, find shortcuts, and use the right items at the right time to pass your opponents. Play solo or with friends and family. Should you be a beginner or the most trained driver, you can get first place and show others who the fastest Smurf of all time is. Jacob, are you the fastest Smurf?
I mean, I won all of the cups I played, so kind of
cool,
but not. But I did not win every single race. But so with this, it's a simple kart game. I mean, along the lines of pretty much every single other licensed kart game that we've played. I mean, obviously top tier is Mario Kart. And very recently, Outright Games themselves released like a Paw Patrol kart game. They're also going to be doing a Giganosaurus game early next year. And, the kart game genre has been a very specific and successful thing for licensed games. I mean, heck, it seems like everyone's had it at one point or another. I mean, even Star Wars had it with Super Bombad Racing way back in the day. So that being said... What's up?
That's a deep cut.
Yeah. I'd rather not remember it either. So,
speaking of racing games, this game does have pedigree. It's made by Eden Games. They do the Gear Club series, so they do have some racing chops behind them.
Yeah. I mean, and we did review the Gear Club 2 on here a while back, which I wasn't really a fan of. Like, it wasn't bad, but it didn't set my world on fire. So this one, it's a standard kart game, and it has the usual kind of levels. Like, there's a beach level, there's a castle level, there's, a bunch of outside levels. And with that, there are about 16, I think, Smurfs that you can play as, and they're all unlocked right from the beginning. And I couldn't really tell whether they actually make any kind of difference as to like who you get. Everybody has differently shaped cars, and obviously everyone looks different, but I didn't have any like, oh, okay, this one's obviously like Papa Smurf is obviously faster than, Brainy Smurf, or Astro Smurf, could take more hits or something like that. Like, there was nothing that I could figure out with that kind of stuff. And on top of it, the weapons, like, it showed that there were a lot of different weapons with it, but like, I don't know if like some weapons are just exclusive to certain characters, and like that's just what you're going to deal with. But I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the weapons that were in the game. And on top of it, like the racer AI, you could easily go for 2 laps and, you know, just beat the snot out of everybody, never see anybody for a while. And then that 3rd lap, all of a sudden, everybody else would, like, they'd get the equivalent of a blue shell. And, like, next thing you know, you're in 3rd place at the end of the race. And that happens really frequently, frustratingly frequently to a point. Driving isn't bad on it, although sometimes it feels like the game's actually like guiding you where it wants you to be. And I found like it essentially like invisible walls like that were on the track, like alongside the track. So like you'd have like a stone fence, and then it felt like, you know, like 2 feet away from it, it was actually the boundary where you were allowed to go. Very rarely did I ever go off of the track. You can do it, but like the game really seems to like, I don't know if it's just like, this is just halfway between like Outright's Blazing the Monster Machines versus like, you know, Nintendo's Mario Kart. And like, this is like some like halfway in between it. But as being somebody who is a seasoned, you know, arcade racing player, you know, I found this game to be plenty frustrating with how the levels were laid out. That being said, the levels are beautiful. They're well done. They're very inspired. And like they look nice. But honestly, I felt everything else in the game was just felt flat. I mean, it's not bad. It's a nice visual change of pace. Like if you've been playing lots of other color game or kart games, but unless you're a big fan of the Smurfs, you may just want to wait for a sale on this one.
Yeah, and I worry about the price tag on it because it's another $40 game. What are your thoughts on it?
I'd be more okay with 30, and that's not me being cheap about it. It's just for the issues I had with like how the levels are laid out, and with like the racer AI, like their rubber banding. It's not the best like licensed kart racing game, but it's also not the worst one either. As I said, you know, if you're looking for a visual change of pace from all the other ones, this one's really beautiful to look at, but the mechanics still need some stuff worked out.
All right. Moving on. Next game is RWBY Arrowfell, developed by WayForward, published by WayForward and Arc System Works. Released November 15th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $29.99. Dive into an explosive new RWBY action adventure. Instantly switch between all 4 members of Team RWBY: Ruby Rose, Weiss Schnee, Blake Belladonna, and I'm not going to try that name. And use their signature weapons and semblances to battle the creatures of Grimm and other foes in this in-canon story set during RWBY Volume 7. Aki, what's going on in Arrowfell?
Okay, as stated, you play as all 4 characters, whichever one you choose, and realistically, you're probably going to just play as RWBY the entire time. Each character fights basically the same way. They have a melee combat button and a ranged combat button. You level each one of their abilities up. One is their health, one is their energy regeneration rate, which is really important because that is basically their health. Because once you run out of energy, the next hit takes one of your lives away. So, and when you shoot things, you use that energy as well. So that's a very important one to upgrade as fast as possible. Defense and both your attacks, your melee and ranged attacks are also upgraded for each individual character. So you'll want to do RWBY because she has the longest range with her scythe, and she has every character has a special ability that they can do, and hers is to dash around, meaning you get through places a lot fucking faster. She's the best. Weiss has an ability to create she uses her magic stuff that's in the game to create a platform that eventually tips sideways and then shoots out ice to damage enemies. But before it flips over, you can actually jump on it to get higher places. And eventually it upgrades to being able to use 2 of them. Obviously, as you play the game, you'll very quickly figure that out, because this is very Metroidvania in that way. And so that's about the only time when you want to use her, because she kind of sucks. Blake has the ability to create a second and eventually third version of herself, which is really cool, because they stand in one place and face whatever direction they were facing when you made them, but you can create them, and if any enemy is near them, when you attack, they also attack, and they do damage. So it's really cool to use that. And then Yang has the ability to blow up blocks. It can also damage enemies, but it takes a while to use, so probably not good to use it in combat too often. And yeah, they are on a mission to figure out what this orb is that was around a bunch of the monsters in the world that I forgot the name of. Oh god, how did I forget the name of them? Oh, that hurts my soul. But it seemed to be, yeah, it's bad. I've watched almost every season of this, and I really love this show. I forgot the name of the enemy that's been in there. Grim. There we go. Been the only enemy in the entire show since day one. Oh god.
And I even said it during the intro. Creatures of Grim.
I know, right? It's terrible. I'm bad.
All right, none of us ever listen to your intros. When
I
are you gonna wonder?
I just
no, you don't.
No, I listen to them, but I'm probably the only one who does. So yeah, the game takes 6 to 8 hours to beat, probably. You will find some special upgrade items throughout the area in order to upgrade your abilities. You can farm some money, which is kind of irritating because you can only hold 999 of the in-game money, and items cost hundreds of dollars when you're using the upgrades stuff, because you can buy skill points occasionally in stores, as well as a heart container, which increases your maximum lives. So you end up having to farm a lot of money fairly regularly, because once you go to one of those stores, you're down to nothing in money, and you have to farm a lot before you get to the next store that has it, because both of those run out in each store you go to. So once you empty one, you just need to find the next one and then buy those items in that one, and just keep doing it. And yeah, it's a pretty easy game. I don't think I died ever. It's really fun though. There's not a lot of voice acting, which is sad, because this was made by the company.
Yeah, and they even say it features voiceovers from the original cast and cutscenes from the team behind the show. It's just a bummer that you're saying there's not much.
Yeah, there's a handful of cutscenes in the game where they talk, and it's sad because I'm like, you guys have the actors and actresses. You guys made the game. There should be voice acting throughout the entire thing. That would have made it so much better, because I love the team and they have great voices and they're really good at voice acting. I mean, they've been doing this for like almost a decade now, so I would expect that. But it's a shame there's so little voice acting in this, because I was so excited for that. They occasionally make some noises when they're fighting, but not much, which is a big shame. But the story overall is kind of so-so. It's not quite as exciting as stuff you'd see in the TV show. It's really just one single mission that they're doing that just takes time to finish it.
Yeah.
but it does introduce you to some new characters that are kind of interesting, though I think they're only going to exist in the game, which is a shame. And yeah, it's pretty fun. Some of the bosses are kind of difficult. However, thankfully, there's a revival ring. So if you run out of hearts, as long as you have one in your inventory, and you can hold up to 9, so you can hold 9 of everything. You get all your hearts back, and you get like 3/4 of your energy bar back. So you do pretty well. The energy bar is actually the important thing, because once you run out of energy and you lose a heart, you don't get all your energy back and work on the next heart. No, you're still at 0 energy. So the next hit you take is going to take away another heart, and then another heart, and another heart.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So once you lose your first heart, it can get really tricky, because even if you have max hearts, you can lose them all very quickly. There are items that you can buy that you can use to fill up your energy. I didn't bother with that ever because I didn't need to, really. I think I used 3 or 4 revive rings in total, and most of them were on the very last boss's fight. So it's, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was pretty fun to play. It does take some time to backtrack, though. That's that, and not a lot of voice acting. Those are really my only complaints about this game. Otherwise, it was really fun to play. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Oh, well, it is $29.99. What are your thoughts?
I think it's probably worth that, especially if you're a fan of the show. If you're not, then maybe wait for a sale. But if you're a fan of the show, it has a lot of characters in it. So I think it's worth it.
Cool. A lot of pricey games tonight. Next game, Frozen Flame, developed by Dreamside Interactive, published by Ravenage Games, released November 17th on Steam Early Access for $29.99. Challenging exploration and survival adventure set in the dying world of dragons. Only those who harness the power of frozen flame have the means to survive the harsh conditions of the realm and able to muster the strength to cleanse it for good. Our friend Andy Sperry covered this one, and Ian, you're going to read it. What is going on in Frozen Flame?
All right, let's see here. Frozen Flame is a challenging survival game set in Arcana, a dying world full of adventure, myths, and dragons. Harness the power of the frozen flame in order to survive the harsh environment and its inhabitants. Rise up against the faceless and cleanse the realm of evil once and for all. Frozen Flame starts as a single-player campaign with the ability to play online PvP and co-op. Medium, hard, and very hard difficulties are available to choose from, with recommended levels for its survival ability. Woken up from death to cleanse the world of evil, the player takes the role of a pilgrim in the Asylum of the Faceless. Completing some basic training allows the player to create a character within the living world with some basic options. Gender, hairstyles, colors, and facial features are simple here. Too much personalization has become a burden in most games with similar features, and at a certain point, people just want to play the game. Simple is how one would describe most beginning aspects of this game, slowly introducing more complicated elements through game progression. Starting off in the Cradle of the Keepers, the player is introduced to some easily manageable skills, crafting, and enemies. Nothing is thrown at the player that will overburden them right away. This felt very introductory and less stressful than some survival games. Keeping the mindset on understanding the gameplay and exploration, basic crafting, survival, simple enemies, and the evolving storyline. The world itself is beautiful, a classic stylized RPG of myth and magic set among a broken landscape. After the defeat of the first 4 bosses in the area, the recurring theme of exploration evolves through the use of flight and portals. Exploration felt light, fun, and involved discovering elements for crafting, ruins, puzzles, and caves. There were even areas of the map that needed a little savvy engineering to get to. Teleportation runes help the ease of travel and double as a source of revival if one fell in battle. New elements and NPCs are introduced to push the storyline and expand crafting, weapons, and armor abilities. Girl. The starting area helps a player get used to basic crafting and battling mechanics. Wild boars, indigenous archers, and swordsmen, floating orbs, and the occasional skeleton roam the fields and caverns. Stronger enemies like dragons, stone elementals, and even boss battles are slowly introduced and become a big part of the main gameplay. Trophies from defeating bosses are used to open portals, allowing new areas for exploration. These enemies hit hard, sometimes overbearingly hard. This offered a fun yet sometimes frustrating challenge. Holding up in a protected area while using a long-range attack was sometimes the only option to keep from being killed in one hit. A balanced enemy attacks or even some defensive gear would have been nice. Defensive gear was mostly non-existent within the first area, but that lack improves later in the game. Collecting and crafting was a major part of the game. Some items are crafted in the inventory and some at a workbench. This was an interesting choice in development and added a couple of extra steps for the player in the long run, especially since other workbenches are constructed to modify materials. Crafting items and armor inside the inventory and materials on a workbench would have felt more balanced. Building a shelter is an option, and though intriguing, it didn't feel necessary. Building options include the choice of wood or stone and allow a player to create a simple or complicated shelter. Floors are used to set workbenches on or used to create platforms to hard-to-reach areas. Resources are scattered around the map openly, but some need a tool to be harvested, like axes and picks. Weight is a big factor in item collecting, and a character with tools can quickly become overburdened with the supplies to build. Items built in the game wear out and have to be repaired, or seemingly more often than felt necessary. Some items needed for repairing or crafting are hard to find, making repair occasionally feel more like a job than a game. A few simple development tweaks between weight, decay, and crafting would have made things a lot easier and more fun. Fighting and crafting isn't all the player can do in this game. The player can search for ritual stones scattered around the map, which offer quick puzzles and with rewarding outcomes. Rewards are typically items or experience. Leveling up the character helps in battles and overall survival, and the game offers a modest-sized skill tree and easy understanding of progression. Points can be put into health and stamina, steadier bow arm, or increased weight carry. NPCs are available for tasks and trading and will inform the player of new crafting blueprints that can be gained or bought. Building a bonfire keeps the player warm during the long nights, and cooking food assists healing or allows the player to gain bonus health and stamina points. A large cookbook is available based on different combos of items found. Meat skewers, fried fish, fruit pie, and bug porridge are just a few of many, all of which are discovered through experimentation.
I love bug porridge.
Yeah. It just reminds you of home, you know?
Home style cooking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. We had our bug porridge and we loved it. Let's see. Anyways, this game has secrets and areas yet to be discovered by those who are looking to scratch that fantasy survival itch. With some balancing and development adjustments, this could be a game a player and their friends could spend hours surviving in. This game is still in early access, and new elements are being added to the game, while the developers are staying up to date on improvements. Give it a try for yourself, explore and discover, craft and cook, and cleanse the evil within the realm. Pick this up November 17th. Frozen Flame is developed by Dreamside Interactive and published by Ravenage Games. Thank you for reading. Andy Sperry and Berry Boy.
Again, the game is $29.99 on Steam Early Access. Looking at it, it is planned to be in early access for up to 12 months. And they are not looking at changing the price, so you could jump in now or wish list it and check it out in the future. But next game, Bravery and Greed, developed by Rekka Games, published by Team 17, released November 15th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $19.99. Bravery and can't talk. Bravery and Greed is a beat-em-up roguelite dungeon brawler for up to 4 players. Choose from 4 classic fantasy classes, engage in a deep, robust combat system, and play a variety of cooperative and competitive game modes for friends via local, online, or both. Get rich or die trying. Jacob, you and I are going to talk about this, but first up, Horror Acolyte actually wrote in a review, and we're going to read that, and then you and I will talk. Horror Acolyte writes in, a rogue learns the whereabouts of a portal to the fabled dwarven Sky Fortress, a fortress that is rumored to hold all the gold of the dwarven race. This portal can only be unlocked with runes representing each of the 4 factions: chaos, order, darkness, and life. The starry-eyed rogue meets up with his companions at a tavern to share this news and make a plan to become rich beyond their wildest dreams. Bravery and Greed is a medieval fantasy 2D beat-em-up roguelite dungeon brawler that can be played solo or with up to 4 players via local and online co-op. Players can choose between one of 4 classes: Rogue, Warrior, Wizard, or Amazon. Classes appear to start with slightly different stats, with each class having distinct attacks and abilities. The Rogue can attack up close with daggers, at a distance with bow and arrows, or go into stealth mode and attack from the shadows. If you want to use brute force, then the warrior is your best choice. He can swiftly smash their enemies with his sword or defend against them with his shield. The mage can blast enemies at close or long range, use defensive spell, or summon an elemental to control that will do his fighting for him. For the most part, the Amazon plays similarly to the warrior, but she trades defensive capabilities with a shield for long-range attacks with chakram. Although the movesets and abilities for each class are fairly intuitive, there is a class training section in the tavern tutorial area that I would recommend visiting. Your quest for riches entails going to 4 dungeons to collect each of the runes being guarded by an assortment of deadly obstacles. You'll need to traverse each randomly generated dungeon room by room, disposing of any enemies in your path to be able to progress deeper into the dungeon. Each fight feels somewhere between a typical beat-em-up and an arena-based brawler.
Oh, yeah.
With the flow of combat being fairly fast-paced. Combat in the game is semi-stamina based. If you run out of stamina, you'll attack at a slower rate, and your dodge rolls will be less effective. You'll encounter a variety of different enemies, such as skeletons, minotaurs, demons, and living armor that will become more powerful from dungeon to dungeon. Slain enemies will drop gold that could be used at vendors within the dungeon or banked in the greedometer at the end of a run to unlock items for future runs. At the end of some enemy encounters, you'll be rewarded with a chest that can contain food to heal, storable healing potions, gold, or equipment. Aside from enemies, you'll need to maneuver around basic traps, simple puzzles, fight a final boss at the end of each dungeon. Fighting the bosses may seem slightly daunting at first, but it doesn't take too long to learn their attack patterns. After a few runs, they shouldn't give you too much trouble. To aid you in your quest for riches throughout each dungeon, you'll also find equipment, followers, and altars of worship that will give you a plethora of power-ups. Characters have 4 equipment slots for a necklace, glove, boots, and a wand. The wand can be used to cast a singular spell such as Deadly Meteors or summon blood-sucking bats, with each spell having a varied cooldown period. Each other equipment piece provides a statistic bonus in the form of health, increased movement, damage output, or various boons and enemy debuffs. In each dungeon, you'll find a couple of followers that can be free to temporarily join your cause, such as wolves, mages, and archers. These followers didn't really help too much, but they do provide a bit of distraction to draw aggro away from yourself. In combination with certain bonuses from equipment, altars of worship will play a pivotal role in shaping the destructive power of your character. The first altar found lets you choose a faction to follow associated with one of 4 runes, then you get to pick a perk to unlock related to that faction. These perks provide pretty substantial buffs and abilities to your character, some of which are specific to the class you've chosen. To add a little more randomness to each dungeon, there are several rooms containing either vendors or random events that can have positive or negative outcomes. For example, you can find a room with a tasty-looking stew that will either be replenishing your health or making your character terribly sick. Or in another room, you could come across a loot goblin that you could chase around and pummel to steal his money. After a run ends, either through clearing the game or dying, all unused gold will be banked into your greedometer. Once your greedometer level increases, it'll unlock a new piece of equipment, a follower, or an arcanum card for future runs. The cards are tarot cards that can be activated at main menu to provide various modifiers to a run. Some cards provide a positive event to a dungeon with no drawback, while others increase the difficulty of a run in exchange for boosting the gold you collect. The combat is definitely where God damn, I can't talk today. Let me take a sip of a drink.
What'd you drink?
Mountain Dew.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Mountain Dew Spark with a blast of raspberry lemonade.
How are we not sponsored by Mountain Dew yet?
I don't know. The combat is definitely... Huh?
Have you written to them?
No. You realize like 4 people listen to us, right?
Yeah. No. I get that. But I mean, like, you shill their product.
And they're all on the show.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you shill the product enough. You figure you'd be able to get something.
Yeah. The combat is definitely where bravery and greed shines. It's pretty fun running from room to room, swiftly slaughtering everything. Feels great watching your warrior slash through a huge group of enemies while lightning raining down from above, while also having your putrid leeches search out the stragglers. It'll take you a couple of runs to get used to the enemy attack patterns and effective perks or equipment to use, but once you find the right combination, your character feels like a fine-tuned killing machine. I really enjoyed the art style for the game, especially for the adventurers and enemies. They look very cutesy and are well suited to the style of gameplay. Being able to adjust the runs with Arcanum cards was really helpful for balancing the difficulty of each run. They all provided some additional obstacles to make the gameplay a bit more engaging. Unfortunately, Bravery and Greed starts to feel a little too simplistic and repetitive after a handful of runs. It is satisfying finding effective combination of perks and equipment to make your character near invincible, but once you do, the game becomes almost too easy to clear. There's an Arcanum card that lets you loop runs continuously, making each continuation have more difficult enemies, which addresses the difficulty concerns, but not the fact that it feels repetitive going to the same areas. Each dungeon has a different theme, but none of them really feel like they stood out. The same could be said for each of the bosses. While the bosses look pretty sweet, the actual combat arena for each didn't really change enough to make the fights feel memorable. There are several game modes in the game besides the story component, including survival, PvP, and team PvP. I don't think survival would help much with the repetitiveness, as it's just fighting wave after wave of enemies, but the PvP component seems like it could be a lot of fun. For the price, I think Bravery and Greed is worth trying. The combat as a whole was quite enjoyable, even if the game did become too simplistic a little too quickly. The fact that there's online support for PvP and story is pretty great. That alone can make it worthwhile for some, especially if you end up enjoying the PvP aspect of the game. I gotta disagree. I think the game is really, really addictive. I kind of liken it to Vampire Survivors, and I kept finding myself wanting to do one more run over and over.
I don't know. Like I was halfway between that. I mean, it felt kind of like a Metroidvania kind of Vampire Survivors in that respect, but I don't know. I didn't feel myself like, wanting to like, oh man, just one more run. Like, it was fun what I was playing, but I don't know, it didn't grab me. On the plus side, you can pet the dog, very important.
What kind of dog is it?
It's a wolf.
I approve now. Yes, I love this.
But I mean, it was pretty fun. I mean, the game does have a nice tutorial that shows you how to do everything. I did have some issues with the air attacks. But honestly, it was a fun, beat 'em up, looter kind of stuff. I do agree with the assessment that your assistants don't really actually help you.
They're good meat shields. That's all I needed them for. Just distract
I know,
but while I fuck everything up.
But what I didn't like is that if you tossed health potions at them, they wouldn't heal themselves, and so it's just I was doing I actually ended up trying to save my dogs more than anything else because I didn't want my dog to die.
Oh man! All right, so the game is $20. What are your thoughts on it?
For $20, I'm all right with that price. I agree with it. And I thought it was a good game overall.
I give this one a hearty buy it. I really, really enjoy this game. Yes, a hearty buy it. I really enjoyed this one. I want to play it a whole lot more. I want to play it online more. It's fun as hell teaming up with other people to take down dungeons. I've made my way through 3 of the 4 dungeons. I keep dying near the end though, so I want to make it through, and I hope an online run will get me through.
Well, maybe sometime.
Maybe one day. Next game is Somerville, developed and published by Jumpship, released November 15th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $27.49 and PC for $24.99. I have no clue what's up with the price there. That's just what it's listed at on the Xbox page. It's also available as a part of Xbox Game Pass. I promise I know how to talk. In the wake
you don't.
True. In the wake of catastrophe, you must find the means to make your family whole again. Somerville is a sci-fi adventure grounded in the intimate repercussions of a large-scale conflict. Aki, what is going on in Somerville?
Okay. This very opening will tell you if you want to play this or not. This is War of the Worlds. There you go. That's what this game is. So you and your family are just having a night at home. You and your wife have fallen asleep, and you play as the baby at first, moving around. And then immediately after, you play as the dad, and that's who you play as basically the entire rest of the game. And aliens crash land weird ship things down on the land, and bad shit happens. And you're trying to get the fuck out of the bad shit that's happening, only for you to be separated from your family, and then you have to go and find them with your trusty doggo, who doesn't do anything. The dog's just there to be cute. Yeah, it's an.
Can you pet the dog?
No.
I thought with the baby you could pet the dog.
I don't think so. Maybe. It's been a while since I played this at this point. I don't think you can pet it.
Could have sworn when I watched ID at Xbox and I watched Timber play this, I thought she pet the dog as the baby in the very beginning, but I might be wrong.
You might be able to. It would have been a one-time only type thing if you can. There is a Twitter channel called Can You Pet the Dog? You can check there and see. Eventually your character unlocks some abilities to fuck with the aliens' ships and other garbage that they've kind of just littered the planet with. One of them is all of them are color coded, so there's a blue power, a red power, and a purple power. And the blue power, and you get them in that order. The blue power allows you basically to use light to more or less melt the aliens' junk. So that's kind of you use that in order to get around. There's not really much in the way of combat in this game. It's more of a figure out how to get from where you are to the end of the level type game. It's almost a walking sim at that point. So you use that to basically free up. This is
made by one of the people behind Limbo and Inside, right?
Yes, I believe it's from the one of the people that made Limbo specifically. And it plays very similar to those games. It's very much a walking sim along those lines with some puzzly elements. So you use the blue power to basically melt things so you can get through areas to continue on. The red power does the exact opposite. It hardens things. That's terrible. I knew that was a mistake the moment I said that. But basically, if you find a pool of melted crap, you can use a light, because all of these are light-based, to harden it so you can walk across it. Because if you walk through this stuff, it starts to eat away at your body. And if you're in it too long, I assume you'll die. I never actually sat in it long enough to see if that happens, but I assume that happens.
And then test the game, Aki. No.
Yeah, I didn't find a purpose to do that. And yeah, the purple power isn't really used in the game. To be honest, you get it right near the end of the game, and it's not really used. Sadly,
well, you get it near the end. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's why I'm not talking about it, because you don't really use it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you find some robots occasionally that'll help you out in your journey. They're little circular balls that go around. They build things for you. Shut up, Jacob. I'm hating. The longer I do this review, the more I'm hating doing it. Oh God. And yeah, you're just basically looking for your family the whole time. It's kind of a cute game.
How long is it? I hear it's not the longest.
That's a rather personal question.
Shut the fuck up. No.
For Jacob, it's about 2 centimeters.
And that's when it's hard.
The games, you can beat it in a single sitting. It's maybe Jesus, I hate everything about this. Why? No.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, Aki, but
it's not long, so it's hard, and you can beat it.
Yeah,
in a single sitting.
Jesus. This is about maybe a 4-hour-ish long game. Maybe. And if you miss any of the achievements, thankfully you don't have to replay the entire game over every chapter of the game, to which there's 15, 16, something like that, I think. Each one you can go into, and there's different checkpoints in it, and you can go to whatever checkpoint you need. And there's a walkthrough for literally every achievement in this game already on TA.
Oh God.
Yeah, some of these you would not get otherwise, because there's no way of knowing how to do it, and they actually had to sit there and work their way to figuring it out, because the game does not tell you. Yeah, there's ending achievements, and you use your powers a certain way to unlock different endings in the ending area, and I don't see how you're supposed to figure any but one of them out, because one of them is very Aliens of the Third Kind, or whatever the hell that movie was.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes, that one. So one of them, the standard ending, is very obvious to figure out, but the other ones, I don't know how anyone figured them the fuck out. I don't know where they got any of the information to do that with. But there's almost every achievement. A lot of the achievements in the game are missable. But thankfully, with the chapter select and checkpoint select in each chapter, it makes it pretty easy to go back and mop up anything you've missed. And yeah, that's it, really.
Cool. The game's $25. What are your thoughts?
Whilst I like the game, I think that's asking a bit much for what you have here. I think wait for a sale. I'd say $15-ish would be a better price for this. While it's pretty and it's fun, there's just not much here.
Good news, it's on Game Pass, so you could play it that way.
Yeah, if you have Game Pass, totally go play this. It is a fun game.
Cool.
Next up, Grapple Dog, developed by Medallion Games, published by Super Rare Games, released November 18th on Xbox One and Series X and S for $14.99. Grapple Dog is an exhilarating 2D pixel art platformer. Use your awesome grappling hook to clear tricky challenges as Pablo the Grapple Dog. Jacob, what's going on in Grapple Dog?
So pretty much this game is a cute animal pixel version, retro pixel version of Bionic Commando. Like, except instead of like having to, to defeat,
Hitler.
Hitler in this game. It's just you're taking on all these robots that, after a Steve Jobs like character has passed away, are invading everywhere. And thankfully, like the robots seem to, only just be more of a nuisance than anything. But yeah, there's a lot of platforming fun to be had in this, and a lot of puzzles that, are simply just like, how the heck do you get from point A to point B? You have to collect these like little orange things, which pretty much just, as far as I could tell, all they just do is really just, tell you how well you did on the level at the end of it. But there are things to collect on each level, and there are like little weird mini missions, like having to give like a goat a pizza, and stuff like that throughout. It is challenging. I will give it that. But a lot of it is also just, you just have to figure out how to get like, what kind of jump is necessary, or like how far do you have to swing, to make that jump work. So there's plenty of challenge with it. There are time trials. So after you've gone back, after you've beaten the level, you can go back and try it again and try to get it under a certain amount of time so you get a medal. But yeah, like I found it to be like a fun, cute little game. My favorite part, honestly, was the dialogue between the dog and the various inhabitants of the islands. For me, like I found the writing to be quite witty. So it was a nice, it's not exactly, it's chill, but it's not,
Yeah.
because you're going to find it to be frustrating, but I was having fun with it.
Speaking of frustrating, how are the accessibility options in the game? Because they say that you can use the many inbuilt accessibility options to play without restrictions. What does that mean?
That's a good question, because I didn't try messing with any of the stuff.
You bitch.
You useless motherfucker.
All I did was swing around and wonder why do I suck so bad?
Do you not browse the options when you play a game?
I do sometimes.
Oy vey.
I'm going to sit here until you come up with some accessibility option. No, Carnage is saying that the accessibility options do not disable achievements, which is a good thing.
Ooh, that's handy.
I always appreciate that.
I'm upstairs. My Xbox is downstairs. I'm not walking down because I also think my wife is watching something on the TV. So
proud of you. Well, the game's $15. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm all right with 15. I'd recommend it. I mean, if you're jonesing for some, Bionic Commando-esque action, this will definitely scratch that itch. And plus also it being like a cute cartoony version of it, I think that helps sweeten the deal. I liked it.
And the Hitler scene at the end just caught everyone off guard, right?
I have a question.
About which?
About the Hitler scene at the end?
Yeah, since you fight Hitler in apparently the main game, who are you fighting in this one?
What do you mean Bionic Commando is a game from the NES where you kill Hitler?
Yeah. So who are you going after in this game?
You're beating up there's some sort of so there was this Steve Jobs like character who.
So you're beating up Steve Jobs?
No. Steve Jobs is supposedly dead.
Okay.
He is.
Yeah.
I haven't made it to the end, so I don't know if there's going to be any weird what a twist, M. Night Shyamalan kind of stuff. But so
M. Night Shyamalan twist in there.
Such a twist.
All the dogs you pet, they were cats the whole time.
No.
In a trench coat.
Cats in a trench coat.
Even though Steve Jobs never wore a trench coat ever, but that's just how convincing they were.
Anyway, but it's assumed to be some sort of rival competitor that did this, and so it's I don't know who we have to beat up at the end. I haven't gotten that far.
Okay, that was my.
I'm just going to assume it's not Mecha Hitler.
What if it is?
That would be fucking awesome.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Well, it would be really unexpected with the OG Wolfenstein.
The most adorable Hitler ever.
I don't think you should ever repeat that sentence, Joe. Just saying.
So, accessibility options, by the way, they have no damage and infinite jump. So there you go.
Oh, I like.
Oh my god!
Damage.
All right, so I have no excuse not to be able to finish this game now.
Yeah, seriously, what the hell's your problem?
A lot.
I mean, you're useless, so that's a good reason not to be able to finish it.
There's a lot of options. You gotta browse the options in these.
Man, for the one time I don't browse the options, all right? Good lord.
First thing in every game, options. Can I invert the camera?
Actually, the first thing
difficulty.
the first thing I actually check for in a game is to see if there's any achievements related to watching the credits. Because usually, I'll just pop that one off first. Yeah.
Those are fun.
I never look for that. I just let the credits play on games and I go off and do other things.
Cool. Well, we got one final game to talk about tonight. That is called Floodland, developed by Vile Monarch, published by Ravenscourt, released November 15th on Steam for $29.99. A society survival game set in a world destroyed by climate change. Explore, scavenge, and build a city to unite the clans. Conflicting creatures and limited resources meaning you need to make tough choices. Have you got what it takes to lead your people into a new era of humanity? Ian, tell us about your time with Floodland.
Well, just as kind of a preface, I don't have a huge lot of experience playing colony sims because I have a nasty habit of trying to play them like RTSs, and that just doesn't work.
Fair.
But I did noodle around with Floodland a bit, and it's like a colony sim, basically how it worked. The general gist is that there was this thing called the event, air quotes, and as a result, pretty much the world is kind of mostly flooded. And on a side note, as I kind of played through the game, I kind of picked up some little tidbits here and there that kind of implied that there was a really huge solar flare that spanked the atmosphere enough to melt a chunk of the polar caps. But like I said, it's something you kind of pick up as you're playing on through. But yeah, there are 4 factions that you can choose from, and mechanically they have pros and cons or whatever, and they have like a little blurb. And I kind of noticed that a couple of the factions seemed a little how can I put this? Nah, fuck, I'm just gonna say it. Like there's one faction that kind of seemed like it seemed a little on the nose, in your face, because like the description for them was like, hey, we're totally accepting of all races and creeds and stuff, and everyone is encouraged to become a part, and homogenize the thing, and we accept everyone for all they are and all this and that. And side fact, we celebrate all holidays together and stuff, and because we're just so inclusive. And for some reason I felt that one of their clan perks was 50% crime reduction, because they enforce the laws that much more heavily.
Interesting.
It's like we're all friends here, right, guys? We're all friends here.
Sure.
Okay, we're all friends, or else. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna pick the clan that like eats less food on average, because that seems like a nice clan to start with as a raging noob, so I don't have to worry about food consumption. But anyways, there is kind of like a built-in tutorial that kind of helps you along, and it strikes me as a game, and like I said, this is coming from a noob to the genre. It seems like it's slow going at first as you slowly learn the mechanics, but I feel that like once you get it down, and like once you learn from your mistakes, and like, oh, I should have done this when I should have done that, I should have built this instead of that. There's research trees and all that kind of stuff, and the game kind of helps guide you along, so you don't end up soft locking yourself. But I feel that like once you kind of learn the ins and outs and the nuances, like you can go back, start from scratch, and just play through like a boss. And because early on you're just kind of focusing on how you need to maintain this group of people. You have to take into account food, and there's 2 kinds of food. There's safe food and quote unquote unsafe food. So for example, like if you have a fishing hut, the fish that they pull in is quote unquote unsafe, because technically from the in-game mechanics, like you're eating it raw. Whereas if you take that food, you run it through the kitchen, then it becomes safe. And
real quick, do you have like anything running over there? Your audio's been popping a little bit.
I shouldn't. Hold on a second. Let me double check. Okay. No, I don't think I have anything going.
Huh.
Do I sound any better now?
I don't know. You got to talk.
Oh. Hey, Joe. How's it going? How
you sound better now.
Yeah. I don't know what it was.
Maybe you were too close to the mic.
Discord's just being a bitch.
Yeah, I've been having some weird problems with various stuff on my system, so it can be whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the early game...
I'm looking on Steam, and it seems like the biggest issue people are really having with the game is it's just not very fun.
Oof.
Well...
Like, did you find the game enjoyable? Is it just like people are saying it's, with the controlling the 4 clans and having them like clash with each other just makes it really difficult, and it's just not very enjoyable.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that. I mean, admittedly, I don't think I've like I said, I'm new, so I kind of played this at probably a glacial pace compared to people that are more familiar with colony sims like RimWorld or was it Stellaris? Is that another one? I think that might be more of a 4X type. But yeah, I got to the point where I found one of the other clans, and they were coming in, and like some of the prompts from the quote unquote like the kind of the tutorial guide made it explicitly clear that you're not going to be making all the people happy all the time. And while I didn't really get too far into that portion of the game, I can kind of start to see how because I thought I was just going to be playing this one clan and I'd be interacting with other clans as like NPC factions. I didn't realize that I would be incorporating those guys into the community. And then from there, the game opens up where you basically start juggling, like, I don't want to say laws, but like ordinances, laws, more administrative type stuff, cultural administrative type stuff. And obviously, like, just in looking back at the descriptions mentally, recalling them, like, oh man, if I'm going to have all these guys together in one community, this is going to be rough. Because, like, I could think of two of the factions right off the top of my head that were, like, diametrically, I wouldn't say opposed, but you can definitely tell where, like, you're either going to favor one or the other, and the other's going to get butthurt about it unrelentingly. So I can kind of see how the trying to keep all the kids happy kind of forces its way to the fore, and I don't want to say it takes precedent, but like the fun survival aspects of management kind of get shelved, trying to keep, this kindergarten class of post-apocalyptic survival chilled the fuck out and, not at each other's throats or causing trouble or causing problems. It's like Frostpunk. There we go. Like, it's like playing a game of Frostpunk where everyone starts arbitrarily arguing with each other over stupid shit instead of at least trying to come up with a compromise. Just like, hey guys, we're trying to survive post-apocalypse here. Can we not, bitch about the teaching curriculum for our apocalypse babies, and instead, gather food so we can feed them on the regular? But I and like I said, it's, since I'm new to the thing, I don't want to say I didn't have fun, but it was one of those things where I still felt like I was learning, so I wasn't sure, like, it's like, am I having fun yet? Is this supposed to be fun? But yeah, but you are right. It does seem like a lot of people, once they kind of start incorporating the other clans, that's when things kind of take a nosedive. But from what I played and what I experienced, I would give it a tentative try it. Like, if you're into that specific genre, I would give it a look-see, because I'm trying to think, it's, what, $30 on Steam right now?
Yep, $29.99.
Yeah, US. I would give it a tentative try it. I'll probably put my classic, asterisk footnote. You might want to wait a little while to see if the developers fix, streamline, change anything about it. I won't say change, but, if they're smart enough to listen to people's complaints and try to, throw out an update to help fix things so they aren't so unenjoyable. Although, one thing I will say, I did like the music. I mean, the music has, like, I don't know why, but for some reason I remember I was playing the other night and I completed like one of the chapters of the game, and this song kind of kicks up, and it's kind of like that, that real laid back bluesy, kind of Johnny Cash-y kind of vibe. And this one song kicked in and the guy started singing, and I was like, oh wow, okay, they actually have a singer for this tune. And like, it was kind of one of those, he didn't have to go that hard, but he really did anyways. And I was like, wow, this is a pretty intense jam that I'm kind of digging. And I don't know if they licensed an actual song or a band, songs for that thing, or if they just contracted someone to do the music specifically for the game. But it's like, wow, man, that's actually kind of cool. I dig that. And I meant to look up who did that too, because it was a really good song. And the guy really committed to it. But I think the only other thing I want to mention is that the prologue cinematic, it felt like a political ad. Like, I was almost expecting someone like, Joe Schmo for, 2088. Because the way the guy, like, was sitting there promoting, like, all this community together, we can make a difference and we can rebuild the world and blah, 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 blah. And like I said, like, the music and the way it was framed and narrated, the whole thing just sounded like this really oddly toned political campaign slogan. I'll have to see if I can find a video of it, and I'll put it in the Discord so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I would say if you're very much into the genre of colony sims, I would give a very tentative try it.
But cats are going crazy. I got to be right back.
But I would, like I said, if you're on the fence about it, give it a month to see if the developers spiff and polish it up a little bit. Yeah. Either that or get it when it's on, like, sale for super crazy cheap.
That sounds like a plan. Great review.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So what do we do until Joe comes back?
Well, what's the next review? We'll just continue.
I thought that was it.
Yeah, I think that was mine. Was the last one. So I guess
that was it.
Over what the cats are doing.
Oh, okay.
Peaches and butter were going at it.
Oh, butter.
All right, well, that is it for this episode. We made it through.
Yay.
Yay. Music. We're going to play some more one-ups. Ian, do you have a favorite?
On the show.
Not really. I mean, all their music's solid.
Well, do you have a request?
You should play some Mega Man.
Okay.
As someone hearing like rearranged Mega Man since like 2000. No, because like when the remix scene hit, like Mega Man 1 through 3 was probably like they were like the most highly remixed games ever.
Them and Super Mario Brothers. I mean, like going because I mean I was downloading literally everything off of OC Remix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so yeah,
remix. I miss those days.
Yeah, it's like I remember Vert, AE, way back.
Good old Vert.
Mm.
Shit. All right. Well, that's it for the show. Thanks everyone for being here, hanging out, and one-ups. We're gonna play Saw 8 from Mega Man 2. How's that?
Woo! Sounds good.
Kinky Bojangles.
Cool. Anyone have any final words to end the show?
Go to MercFest.